take up verse 34, please. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti shrivakcha narinam smritir medhadhriti kshamaha. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti shrivakcha narinam smritir medhadhriti kshamaha. I am, and means continuation, and I am all devouring death. Mrityu sarvahara, and the birth of future beings. Udbhavaha means birth, bhavishyatam of future beings. Kirti of the feminine. I am Kirti, fame, Shri, prosperity. Vak, speech, Smriti, memory. Medha, intelligence. Dhriti, forgiveness, and Kshama, forgiveness. So firstly, he says in this verse, I am the all-devouring death and birth of the future beings. Very interesting how you can interpret this. Where death of the past happens and the beginning of future happens, that's where God is, he says. It's amazing language he puts it. Where the meeting point of the past and the meeting point of the future. So where death and birth happens, the meeting point. So God, when he says, I am there in the present. So the present is actually a present to us. It's a gift to us, if you are able to remain in the present. So what is the birthday present? The birthday girl, amidst us. Vasanta Ma, Hari Om, blessed birthday greetings to you. So what is the birthday present, Ma?
Guruji, I was just thinking my best birthday present today is attending your class. That is so the sweet. Best gift. That is the best thing.
But then Setuji will, then you will nothing left for Setuji to offer. Please don't say that.
No. That is also there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the present is the meeting point of the past and the future. And what is it, Vasantama, since you are communicating?
Yes.
What is it? What is it that you find in the present? The present is actually rather
the awareness.
In fact, if you have to put it, the present is devoid of what? Which the past and future are consumed with.
That is the worries of the future, past, and fears of the future. Dvanda.
Whenever you talk of the past, there are past worries. Whenever you talk of the future, there are future anxieties.
Yes, Guruji.
So your past and future are always consumed by thoughts.
Thoughts.
So the consciousness, it is not wrong to say, consciousness is conditioned by thoughts of the past and future. It's an outstanding concept. The consciousness, see, consciousness is conditioned by thoughts and desires, isn't it? Yes. Where do thoughts and desires exist? Thoughts and desires only exist in the past or the future. In the present, you are always free of thoughts.
Only that awareness of the present will be. You'll be a witness.
You remain a witness in the present without having any thoughts. So when you remain in the present, you will be free of thoughts, free of worries, free of anxieties. And moment you are free from the conditioning elements, you clinch the consciousness. Isn't it? Man minus thoughts equals God. But the problem is we are never able to remain in the present. It sounds so simple, but one of the most difficult things to practice. I tell you, it is almost sounds impossible.
Very soon because thoughts keep flowing.
the traffic of thoughts keeps inundating our lives, inundating our minds. So your mind is never free of the thoughts. The thoughts always refers to past or future. Thoughts never refer to the present. If you live in the present, there are no thoughts. Isn't that a beautiful concept?
Yes. Always I try to be in the present, but the next second thoughts will come up. It's very difficult.
Now you know why the thoughts come?
Because of the past memories.
Because of past memories. All right. Not wrong. Why else? What else is the reason these thoughts
insecurity
of the past or future? Not really. You can't say insecurity. Could be a direct reason from the way we are looking at it. Wonderful, Ma.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Ma. Situji is in a very poetic mood. He's still writing poetry. Yes, sir. Present alone is the truth, sir. Past is history, future is a story. What was the question, Venkatji? Every time you appear, you are a different person. What is this? Are you the same person, sir? Huh? Once in 3 months, we see you. Huh? What's going on?
Yeah, Guruji, so the question was that
what is going on? First, I've answered that question. What is going on? Suddenly, out of blue moon, you appear and suddenly you disappear like I don't know. We can't compare you to anything. I'm lost for analogies here.
So there was no sudden appearance or disappearance. I think, yeah, I was tied
no,
up.
For us, you sudden appear and disappear. For yourself, you don't appear and disappear. No, every day you see yourself. How can you appear and disappear for yourself? For us, you are disappearing. No, I've let go. My frustration has come out. Now you can answer, sir.
Got a break from G20? No. I am struggling with my 20s. No G20. I was actually busy. So I think, Guruji, you were basically asking that why we can't be in the present and what basically bothers us. To which Vasantama was, talking about worries of the future or the anxieties of the future, and then the past always keeps us engaged.
Yeah, but why do these thoughts keep coming? That's obviously your mind keeps going, but what's the reason mind goes to the past or future? Why do these thoughts keep coming up? What's the reason? You're only describing the avenue where your mind goes. Your mind goes to the past or the future. But my question is, why does the mind entertain those thoughts?
I don't know exactly why that is, but normally we reflect on the past when we make some plans for the future and start thinking that whether whatever I did, was it right or not? How do I correct myself? I mean, it can be in any way, personal or professional and all. So I don't know. Otherwise, what does the mind do then? Otherwise, it could be all blind.
Huh? Therefore, you are endorsing that what the mind should do
I'm
is correct, is it?
I'm not endorsing, but that is how this keeps happening.
You are saying it is a waste of time not worrying and being anxious, because then mind will have nothing else to do. That's what you are saying then.
So I really don't know, because I have not graduated to that level. But the fact is, you asked me a question: why do these thoughts keep coming? Probably these thoughts keep coming because there is no other way where we are able to engage, or maybe we are still going through this process, of finding ourselves and containing and staying in the present. Till the time we get engaged that way, I think these challenges or struggles we will go through.
But still the question remains. I like the last part actually. What UK? I speak the truth, you laugh, Maya. Na mind. Huh? My job is to only speak the truth.
I know, Guruji, you are very, you catch the right truth and you speak.
So a wrong truth also is there. Huh?
Right, means there are so many statements we keep making, but you catch the correct, the essence of it finally.
My job in the class, in the antenna, is to pick up what you're saying wrong. What you say right, I don't pick up. Huh? That is what my job is.
No, he said, I don't know. That is the right thing, no, Guruji.
Correct. Yes. Yes, Ma. Yes, Harish. The question is, why does the mind helplessly, constantly gets consumed by past worries and future anxieties? What's the reason?
I think, Guruji, the past thoughts keep coming up. Sometimes I think a lot of people have a lot of regrets, and they keep dwelling on the past because of their regretful actions or regretful choices in life. And am I audible, Guruji? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, very much, very much.
So I think that most people, I would assume, dwell in the past. They dwell in the past with regrets and sorrow. As people are evolving, I think the future is where they have the anxiety of the future, and they want to do better, and they want to make better choices because of their past regrets and their past choices in life. So it's very hard to be in the present for many people.
Agree with you, but it is as unsettling as getting consumed by past worries to remain in the future anxieties. The future anxiety is not going to settle you. Would it give you any assurance or happiness?
No, not at all. And I think one other reason I just feel is that we refuse to surrender and be in the present. I think if we surrender and let's take it one step at a time, I think we'll have more clarity as we go forward, because so many of us plan so many things for the future, And in all actuality and reality, I think 80 to 90% of what we think for the future does not materialize. So I think it is just surrendering and just taking small steps as we go along, which we fail to do.
Truly, in fact, perhaps the way you put it, the very word surrender seems to be far more pronounced than what we come to understand of. You know, it is far more pertinent. That's what I feel. Sadly, we don't do that. All right. So, still a very poetic answer. You have not given a philosophical answer, but I am with you in spirit, Harish.
Yes.
All right. Great. Okay. Still looking forward for the answer. Yes, Srinivas Garu.
Guruji, why the thoughts keeps coming? In my perspective, it could be we are thick and thin of worldly affairs. The world is pulling and pushing on every moment by moment. We are not got disconnected. And
okay, the same question, sir. The question is same to the statement that you said. The world is pushing and pulling you. When can the world push and pull you? Answer is same to both the questions.
Yeah, but why? Because we are involved. We are totally an extroverted, and we
you are in. Okay, now the third way of questioning. When is one extroverted? When does one get involved? Answer is same to all three questions.
Yes, Guruji. Yes, as long as you
think twice before you utter the next statement. Again, I'll frame a fourth question with that.
No issue, Guruji. I'm prepared. Because the moment, like Vasantama said, that even for me, go to the prayer room, chant one particular nama for 3 to 5 times. Second time, the mind goes somewhere. They bring back to chant for third and fourth. Again, fourth time, it goes back. The thoughts are so engulfing us. I think beyond an earthquake, I can say, that is every moment by moment, we go through this pain. So unless we're talking about converting into or transforming into a sattvic, most probably having less desires, less disconnect to the worldly affairs. It could be
Yeah, sorry. Now you're spelling it out. The reason why your mind helplessly entertains thoughts and you helplessly act on it, as you said, you're being pushed and pulled by the world, is because of the vasanas. Remember that. As long as the vasanas, and what is understanding of vasanas? Vasanas are the deep root source of thoughts. The very source of thoughts. So it is the seed of thought. Vasana is a seed of thought. If wherever there's a seed, it has to manifest as thoughts and desires and actions, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you are constantly acting, extroverted, running around, pushed and pulled by the world, is because you still have the vasanas.
Yes. Absolutely.
Isn't it, sir? So yes, where there is a seed, it will start sprouting. So if the seed is a vasana, you know the chronology of action, sir?
Yes, Guruji. Yesterday only I read the book, page number 8.
Oh, is it?
9.
Whose book, sir?
My Guruji book.
Oh, hope it makes sense to you.
That is a vasana, thought, desire, and action. This is what I mean is chronology.
Copying, huh?
Yes, Guruji. Reading your book. I'm not copying.
Okay, oh, okay, sir. Very good, sir. So in this chronology, where there is a vasana, a thought, a desire, and action. I don't know, I say it in the book that way, but a vasana is the seed, a thought is a sapling, a desire is a plant, an action is a full-grown tree.
The sequence is same, Guruji, but the explanation is not the way. Example is not.
I may be in a different mood, sir. You know, so please forgive me for the mood. It's all very mood-written book that is. So when I'm in a good mood, I'll write something. I don't know what mood I am in now. I'm saying this thing now.
Okay, Guruji.
But why? The concept is the same.
Yes.
Isn't it? Concept is the same.
Yes, yes.
Now, the sapling or the shoot will come out because there is seed. As long as there is the seed of asana, there will be helplessly, you will be entertaining thoughts. This is what you got to understand.
So,
Venkatji, are able to relate to the thought? Yes, SR. Yes, please.
yeah, and I think with Guruji, that seed not to sprout, then most probably we have to roast.
That is what, what is roasting the seed symbolize?
No, Guruji, roasting the seed.
What does roasting of seed symbolize?
No.
Can I ask the owner of Seed Works?
Mm-hmm.
How does it work, sir? If you roast the seed, how does it work? Seed works. He will say seed doesn't work. How can you roast and expect the seed to work?
Yeah, if you roast it, it will not germinate for sure.
It will not. Now, what is that symbolized by in spirituality? Roasting of seed symbolizes what? What is the philosophy?
So it is basically
Germination doesn't happen.
Sorry?
Destroying the vasanas.
Destroying the vasanas or the desires here. All right. Now, what symbolizes that? Very powerful symbol, which symbolizes the burning of desires, which is compared to the roasting of the seed. What is the symbolic representation? Ramji, any idea? What is the symbolic representation to that idea of your purpose is to roast the desires within you?
I mean, you become, I don't know the symbolism, sir. I suppose you become desireless, but one.
No, rather let me put my question. What is the symbolism that conveys this concept? The concept of roasting a desire is symbolically conveyed through what?
I mean, you destroy your desire, so you will not have any desires. But I mean, I can't think beyond that.
Anybody before you? I know you want to ask something before we lose our track. Anybody has an answer? Sanjay, any idea? Satviji, any idea? Becoming introvert, tapas, no. Vasantama. Oh, Vasanti, somebody else, Vasanti, sorry. Okay. Right, shaving of the head. Nah, that's not a bad symbolism. Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's nice. In fact, the symbolism which conveys that I've burnt my desires is when a sannyasi wears an ochre robe. The ochre robe is the robe or the color of fire, which means I have burnt myself for worldly transactions. Do not disturb me. So such people who wear ochre robes are announcing to the world, I have taken a life of sannyasa, which means I am not interested in worldly transactions. I have burnt my desires, worldly desires. That is what is conveyed. Roasting of seed is conveyed by a sannyasi wearing an ochre robe. But that doesn't mean you change your wardrobe, please. Huh? That's only symbolic. First complaint will come from all your domestic home. What is this? My husband is wearing ochre robes. Please don't. Yes, Ramji.
Yeah, I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have learned from you many times that if you attach your desires and thoughts to the higher, then the lower will automatically drop off. Right? So if I assume that thoughts of past and future are the lower thoughts, and if I attach my thoughts to the higher, which is Brahman or whatever, they should drop off according to that theory. But suppose my vasanas are not yet burnt, will the thoughts will still dropped off, the lower thoughts? I mean, I just want to understand that by attaching my thoughts to the higher, and still I have unburnt vasanas, will I still be able to de-link my past and future from my present thoughts?
See, to the extent you have not de-linked, to that extent you will still have transactions. To that extent, still the past and future will keep consuming you. See, the past and future, when we refer to them, they are being conveyed as in a negative context.
Correct.
So as long as they come and torment you, that means the vasanas, there is still some kind of a connect. You have not yet established in the higher. You are going through the phase of transition. You have understood the futility of the lower. You also understand the value of the higher, but you're not yet established in the higher. So you're going through the phase. As long as these
thoughts are, that means as long as the vasanas are not fully burnt, you can't completely attach yourself to the higher.
No. Sir, you have certainly understood the futility of the lower. You're not going back.
Correct.
But sadly, you're not yet established in the higher.
Correct.
So there is that phase where you are in no man's land.
You're in Trishanku, for some time, let us say.
You are in a no man's land, and that is the time where you have to be very careful. That's where the sadhana you do and the effort you put in will ensure that you get lodged onto the higher. Otherwise, easily you may fall back to the lower.
So, but that difference is because there are still some unburnt vasanas. So
that is very much until you get established in the higher. So we often, when we say higher and lower, don't we take the example when the flower matures into a fruit? That is when the petals drop away.
Right.
The question is whether have you matured into a fruit? Has the flower matured into a fruit totally? If it is 70%, still the petal is intact. Only when it's completely matured, that is when the petal perhaps is just dangling or just holding on to the fruit. You sometimes just hold the petal, it comes into your hand. You're not even putting any effort. That means the transformation has truly happened. So the desires, if it hasn't dropped, how do you know? The thoughts keep coming and disturbing you. That means you have not yet established in the higher. And you are the best judge as far as that is concerned. The best judge is oneself. I know what my mind does, where my mind goes, how my mind behaves. I know. And I need to be true to myself. And to that extent, one has to be patient and persevering so that the transformation happens.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, Arjuna asks this question, what happens to my sadhana? I'm aspiring to reach the self, but I don't reach the self in this birth. What will happen to me if I die? Will all my tapas and sadhana goes to waste? He says, don't worry. Where you have left, you will carry it forward. Ma shuchaha, don't worry, he says.
So we should continue that path even if we don't reach that in this life.
Right. So in fact, sir, don't we say that the only thing that we carry forward along with us is your spiritual wisdom? If you have acquired 60% wisdom, that you will start from 61. Everything else is left behind. Obviously, spiritual wisdom or ignorance is two sides of the same coin. So the only thing that's carried forward is that vairagya, that wisdom that you acquire. The rest is all going to be left behind. So that's what Lord Krishna shows Arjuna.
Okay.
Right, sir?
Thank you.
So, right, sir. So therefore they say God is there in the present. Even while you are meditating, you're trying to, in the culminating practice also, you're trying to keep your mind devoid of thoughts. Even relatively, they say happiness is always in the present moment. So relatively, happiness is in the present. Absolutely, realization, the consciousness is only in the present, not in the past or future. And in the present is devoid of any thoughts. So just because you have vasana, that doesn't mean you will have to become a slave to it. As a human, you and I know that we have the capacity to deal with the vasana. And how do you deal with the vasana? What is it that is more, what is more subtler than the vasana? Sanjay? In the graph we have given, vasana is the seed. Vasana is the source of everything. But tell me, what is it that is subtler than the vasana that can actually deal with the vasana?
Wisdom.
It is wisdom. So with the wisdom, you can actually burn the vasanas. And how does wisdom express? Through what does wisdom express?
Through the intellect.
It manifests through the intellect. That's how we draw a parallel, say, to the extent you have. So the intellect can checkmate the mind. The intellect can checkmate the thoughts. And if you go deep root into the thought, you actually hit the vasana. So with your intellect, you can actually checkmate the vasana. Isn't it? Perfect, sir. Great. Yes, Setaji? Yes, sir. You're unmuted. Hariom, sir.
How to be in the present, Guruji? They say be in the present, don't be in the past and future. In other words, now we never can be in the present until we burn vasanas. Or if we are partially in the, to the extent we have evolved, can we be in the present? Is it?
It is how, what is the traffic of the thoughts? The traffic of thoughts.
Quantity and quality.
Quantity and quality. That depends on the vasanas. So extroverted person is a traffic jam of thoughts.
No. What I mean is, if we are partially evolved and our desires have come down and this thing, to that extent, can we be in the present? Because
absolutely
excel
yes.
When we are in the present.
Absolutely. So the mind naturally becomes calmer because the thoughts are that much lesser. Vis-a-vis, there are many thoughts that constantly entertain you. You feed the thoughts, the world entices you, and then obviously it causes a reaction. So the world sends stimuli, the desires within, there is a reaction, and there's constant activity in the head. But so as the vasanas drop, naturally there will be less reactions or responses to the world. So you automatically become calm. That's what we say, you become an introverted person. Somebody said introverted person. But you don't wait until you become introverted to arrest the mind. One of the qualities of the intellect, one of the way to implement the intellect is to control the mind from not rambling into the past or the future. The nature of the mind, it rambles. So by conscious, you can't push the problem to the vasana and say, oh, when the vasana goes, that's when I'll become calm. That is philosophically right. But how do you put when the mind is rambling, you can't say, as Harish said, surrender. Oh, I have to surrender until my vasana goes, till then I'll be rambling. Okay? That is not a solution. When you have a problem, so the problem can be twofold, sir. Treating a vasana is like taking an internal medication where I am curing my system. Intellect controlling the mind is like applying a balm. If I've sprained my wrist, I take a balm and apply it. An external thing. So applying a balm to treat a sprain or a wound is intellect checkmating the mind's rambling nature. Curing the internal antibiotics, I'm taking internal medication to treat something wrong, entire system, there's something wrong. So a doctor gives me antibiotic. That's a course. That course you embark on is to take care of the vasana, which is a long-term solution. There's a difference between taking a 1-week antibiotic course vis-a-vis taking a balm and applying on the skin. Applying the balm on the skin is using the intellect and saying the mind to shut up. Stop your nonsense. So the intellect has to be aware to nip that nature of the mind at that moment. If you don't nip it, it keeps on going, That soliloquy continues.
First, we have to strengthen the intellect by wisdom, increasing the spiritual quotient. If the intellect itself is weak, it won't do anything.
Then as Haresh said, you have surrender. Some fellow will come and knock at your head and say, what's nonsense going on? Stop it. So a guru has to come and knock at your head and say, stop doing this rubbish. External force has to come and wake you up until the self-realization happens. Till then, either you can help yourself or seek somebody's help. If you don't do this, people suffer. Phenomenal. So, some of you may have noted in our groups, there must have been information about me involved with a group of youngsters, from the education institution. Have been of late involved with training them. What concerns me is how vulnerable they are, how their naive minds are exposed to so much that is being bombarded onto them, the pressure, expectations, the liberalization of their thoughts, the license that they get to do what they want, the license they can give to their mind, and no ability to control. There's absolutely no awareness of intellect. They have no idea. Imagine complete ignorance on one side, another side, their mind is like a monster. What would be that state? I felt so sorry for that state, because some of them had come and opened up their lives to tell me what they're battling. They say it's a battle. Living is a battle. Day in and day out is a challenge for us. I just felt so sorry for them, that they don't have the capacity to deal with life. You and I have a certain space, but at that stage where they're growing, they need this. The intellect is actual survival for them. Without this, they can't survive. Finish. Don't we see the kind of extreme steps people take of suicide and all the kinds of mental diseases? It is, I don't know, sir, whether you are able to relate to the gravity of situation, the kind of fear I had in me, and the concern with which I connected with them out of sheer feeling of concern. Felt so sorry for, not that there's anything wrong with them. I'm not saying the lovely kids, brilliant minds, full of energy, full of life, but they don't know how to deal with it because they don't have a concept of intellect. They don't have an intellect, sadly, sir.
Guruji, in other words, they need support of one of the parents. If both parents are fully busy and employed, they don't know what is going on, and they won't also confide with them.
In fact, quite a few students came and suggested, sir, why didn't you take this course for our parents? Art of self-management first must be taught to my parents, they said. They need it. I said, I'm happy to talk to them, but will they lend their ears is the question. This suggestion came to me, sir, that they need this wisdom so badly. And I see that so desperate that they need it. They can't get along, and drop of a hat, they lose their temper. And then it's like a Dharma Kshetra has become Kurukshetra. That's what the Gita starts.
Guruji, here I would like to share, see, this autism, one of the main reasons is, although it is genetic is one of the reasons, major reason is environment, where there is no support of both, either of the parents to the child. There is no one, now it is a nucleus family. They don't even touch the child, lift the child, be with the child, talk to the child. So both of them go for the job. Now, when we tell them after it has been found, one of you temporarily quit job till the child recovers, it will take few years. They say now we have to pay for the therapy, so we have to work. So they are giving an excuse. Actually, even at a therapy center, the mother sits with the laptop. There is a free Wi-Fi. And she is always busy. She is supposed to participate, observe the therapy session and practice it at home.
So everybody has problems. You're talking of the problems of the have-nots, the problems of the haves. Everybody has some kind of problem, which is so, I don't know what to say. Okay, Setu ji. Thank you. हाँ शिवाजी बोलिए.
We either live in the past or in the future just because we engage with it. The choice is with us. We have the choice whether to go in the past or the future. But we don't use the third choice, that to be in the present moment. Present moment is inevitable, however intolerable it is. Even if it's a difficult situation, you cannot escape. The only way is to be in that moment, be in the present moment. In fact, that's why people do not smile anymore, not much nowadays, because you either live in the past or the future. You are always saddened, and joy is only in the present moment, not in the past or the future. And the smile can only make sense now. I smiled yesterday, doesn't make any difference, or tomorrow I'll smile, doesn't make any difference. How joyful right now, this moment, determines how present you are in that moment. Present moment is inevitable.
Absolutely, sir. Very well said. Very true. But it's not, as I said, it's one of the most difficult things to practice is to live in the present. One of the most difficult things. You need to be ever alert, not to allow the mind to slip out of your control. The moment you're not aware, the mind slips. The moment you're not conscious, the mind slips. Where does it go? Past or future. So the intellect is actually holding the mind, as it were, the mind is held hostage by the intellect. You better behave, otherwise you're in for some punishment. That kind of awareness the intellect keeps the mind. Otherwise it slips. It slips big time. Right, sir. So remember, don't worry. You will speak and you will sing also. Why worry about next birth also? We are telling, don't worry and be no anxious. Will I be able to do that again? Anxious. Enough headache this Janma. Why are you carrying worry of next Janma also? I can't understand. Have you been listening to what we have been saying so far? If you have been, you will not ask this question. Nothing will happen. Don't worry. Everything will end this birth, will continue fresh next birth. Okay, wow. If that appeases you, if my statement means something to you, so be it. But nothing is going to change. In the sense, whatever one deserves, one gets it. Yeah, you must understand the harsh but the true Vedantic law. the true Vedantic harsh law which says one gets what one deserves, not one desires. So accept to that, surrender to that law and face and accept whatever comes in your life. Who am I to either bless you or curse you? As blessing or cursing has no meaning, because one gets what one has done, isn't it? Rightfully or wrongly. Okay, man. And I don't mean in a negative sense, because I'm only trying to explain how the law works. Okay. I know you don't get me wrong. Okay. So that's what he said. I am the all-devouring death and the birth of future beings. And then he says, of the feminine qualities, he gives 7 deities corresponding to 7 virtues. Kirti, fame; Smriti, memory; Medha, intelligence; Dhriti, firmness; Kshama, forgiveness. These 5 of them were the daughters of Prasuti and Prajapati. Where I got the details from, God knows. I have it there, I'm telling you. I have it, right information I've got. So he corresponds them to the 5 women or 5 deities, feminine deities. Sri means prosperity, the daughter of Bhrigu and Kyati. Vak, speech, is said to be Lord Brahma's daughter. So these are all of the feminine. So now our job is, all husbands must try to find these 7 virtuous qualities in your spouses. Venkatji is seriously taking notes, profusely nodding head. 7 virtuous qualities of a woman. I'm a little struggling to fathom, but I'm talking of my personal life. I know you will feel for me when I say that. Yes, Ramji, you only can find 3. Wait, she's coming with a stick.
I think we all will.
She's coming with a stick. The number will increase very soon.
No, I think we all will find the same 3, sir. One is memory.
Is it?
One is memory. Second is.
I knew you were.
Second is speech, and third is firmness. These 3. So,
Sir, all men in Hyderabad will meet for prasadam somewhere. We will not get any prasadam today.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So be very, very mindful. Prakash Ragaru, we are coming to Taj Mahal, sir. Please take care of us. Or Vartha Solungo, few depressed fellows will come. Please provide as much food as they want. Don't worry, we will pay the bill. Don't worry. Bill part, don't worry. Please take care of us. Solungo. Yes, Solungo, sir. For our sake, please say yes. Because we are not going to be fed for a few days at home. At the rate at which we are going, it will not be fed for a few days. So namaskaram means we don't.
No, yes, sir.
We are recording. You must say yes.
You are welcome, sir.
Welcome where?
But not at the cost of your wife.
That and all is our problem. We are what to do, sir. God is saying, see 7 qualities. I'm not able to see what to do. As Ramji says, only 3 qualities we are able to see. In fact, they are more pronounced at the cost of other qualities. Forgiveness, I don't know. Lord, maybe little by mistake, he said.
I'll be having the curse now.
But I wonder why he qualifies these as feminine qualities. I have no idea.
He says these are the qualities in women which I am. So there are also other qualities which he is not in women.
Are? When he's saying what I am, you're talking what you are not.
No, he's
You have to
saying
identify.
of the feminine, I am these 7. So that means if they have another 7 which he is not, and which are much more bhayankar, then he is not there, in those qualities. I'm just trying to understand whether he is representing only these 7 or these 7 are the only qualities women have.
So the problem, I know where you're coming from. You are noticing other qualities than this.
Correct.
So I can relate to your personal concern. Man, that doesn't mean anything wrong with you. Okay, something wrong with his perception.
No.
Something wrong with his approach to life. Correct, Ilya? Thumbs up, Cheptun sir, Amma.
Yes, sir. Yes. That is firmness.
Correct. ஐயோ இதுக்கு மேல நான் ஒன்னும் சொல்ல முடியாது. I finished. I think we will wrap up the class for the next 3 weeks as we have announced. Right. So no, as all through he's been saying, he's picking out the most prominent or the best in everything. So he's just associating all the positivity to every facet. Okay, let's move on. Verse 35, please. Bruhat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chanda samaham Masana marga shirshoham Rutunam kusumakaraha Bruhat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chanda samaham Masana marga shirshoham Rutunam kusumakaraha. Also, Bhritsama of Sama hymns. I am Gayatri of meters, of months. I am Margashirsha of seasons. Kusumakaraha, the flowery season, which is the spring. So Bhritsama, the Sama appears in the Sama Veda. They are supposed to be of the best hymns. It is composed in Bhrati meter. So Bhritsama of Sama hymns. I am Gayatri of meters, the oldest and perhaps the most important of metrical compositions in the Vedas, of the Rig Veda, which is said to be the mother of all Vedas. So the Gayatri mantra, which is chanted glorifying the sun god at dawn and dusk, this has an international and a philosophical significance. Therefore, he says, of all meters, I am the Gayatri mantra. So if it is chanted and sung, it has a very profound international effect. And then he says, Marga Shirsha, considered to be the best months, the pendant of the year, which comes between sometime between December and January, mid-December and early January. Perhaps it's meant that it is the most conducive time to contemplate on the higher. Not that rest of the year is not conducive, but you take that moment to capitalize For example, like the Muslims that they do 1 month fast and they do 1 month intense spiritual practices, so something like that. Of seasons, I am the flowery season, the queen amongst the seasons. The entire plant kingdom appears gorgeous with fresh flowers, blooming fresh leaves, etc. So of the hymns, see, you will only understand if you know all the hymns and how this Britsama is good. You don't know hymns, so how would you know Britsama of hymns? Never mind, pass. You don't know meters, so how will I say Gayatri? Gayatri Ma, you know it? At least one person rightfully should know is you. Do you know?
Thinking about or heard about that Gayatri, my name was kept so that I little aspire for it.
But have you proved them right or wrong?
And on my way on the path, Guruji.
Okay. Right path, na? So let us know the moment you discover why is Gayatri the best of all meters and of seasons and the flowery season, he says. Move on, 36. Dhyutam chalayatam tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamaham. Dhyutam chalayatam tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamaham. Dhyutam chalayatam of I am the gambling of the fraudulent. How ingenious his thinking must be, how original he must be thinking to think of all these things. That too in between the war, anytime the war was about to begin, look at his originality. And then he says, I am the splendor, Tejaha of Tejasvinam, of the splendid. I am the Teja, the splendor. I am victory, Jayaha. I am Vyavasayaha, I am determination. And then he says, I am Sattva, Sattvam Sattvavatamaham. I am Sattva of the Sattvika, of the pure. I am purity. So, so many fraudulent actions one can do. Can somebody mention some? What are the various fraudulent activities you can do? He says of all the fraudulent activities, gambling is the worst of them all. So fraudulent activities means referring to the most tamasic activities. So he's describing in the most tamasic, I am the best of the tamasic activity. Haresh, can you tell me some fraudulent activities? Name a few.
Fraudulent activities, Uji, can be theft,
Cheating.
Cheating, yeah, cheating.
Misleading, cheating.
Yes. Is talking ill also of other people considered in that category, or that's not in this purview? Talking ill of other people, or bad mouthing other people, or backstabbing other people. Betrayal.
Not
I mean,
sure.
as in betrayal. That's
Betrayal or being ungrateful. Not ungrateful. Betrayal is not ungrateful, isn't it?
No, no.
Betraying is cheating, no?
Yes, yes.
Betraying is cheating. Yeah. Yeah, you can say that is a fraudulent activity, you know. So of all this, he says, I am gambling. So what is the nature in gambling? What is the attitude of a gambler? Betting. Betting is not gambling, no? Is gambling? Is betting gambling? Yes, Setuji?
It's another fraudulent activity.
Okay. But what is gambling?
Gambling is playing on chance, playing of cards, playing of this highly tamasic, and you on luck. You are dependent on luck, or
So the attitude is you want to gain something without putting any effort. You don't want to work for it, but you want to gain something.
Cheat the other person away of his wealth. See,
I'm sorry, sir.
You are cheating the other person from whom you are getting a. See, someone is the loser when you gain.
But you don't cheat, no? You are playing a game. Where's a? It's a game played on certain rules, and it's a monitored game. It's a certain process. You may win, you may lose, but it's
Gambling,
not that I'm cheating someone.
Play.
Sorry, sir.
They lure you to play.
Fair enough.
See, when you go to Las Vegas and all, when you start winning, they see to that you don't leave till you lose. By giving free free things, they see to that you stay back.
But that is all marketing gimmick, no? Like even you go to a supermarket, they advertise in such a way that you will have to see the entire store to go out to. I want to buy one thing and walk out. No, you'll have to walk the entire length of the store, the supermarket, and because the payment counter is extreme end only, purposely. So why? Forced, induced shopping. So you will want to go with one item, but you will fill up your cart and come out. Same psychology. But I don't think they are cheating there. You know, it's right, as Venkaji said, you fall into a trap. They are trying to entice you, and then you fall in a trap. But the question is, as Oshama is asking, why is he mentioning a negative concept among the positive all throughout, right from which verse? I think 18th verse, right? 18th or 19th verse. We started. Now, how do you answer this? A pertinent question, but I have an answer for it, but I would like to hear from anybody. Yes, Sudhakar Garu. So till now you have not seen. The moment I told gambling, you put on your camera. What is this, sir? What impression people will have? Since I know you, I know you, but others will misunderstand you, sir. Please don't do this from next time.
Sir, I always gamble with my life.
Then you are very philosophical man, sir.
Though I did not understand when gambling is fraudulent, how come this statement has come? Life is a gamble played. It's a very famous statement. I have read and have heard also. Can I get some
You practiced
explanation for
also.
that?
You heard it. Sir, let me first, let me put it in the right perspective. You read it, you live it, you're following it. Why are you asking me, sir?
No, I'm not following right now, Guruji.
I have, no, but I'm saying I have never heard it. I don't follow it. So how can I justify what that statement is?
It's a very famous statement. Everybody is very familiar with that. That's what I felt. So how come this statement has come? This question has come to my mind. That's why I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't know. There may be others who can throw light on it as to why they say life is a gamble. Is it? Sithuji has an answer.
Life is a gamble played.
Maybe there's a poetic pun. It's a poetic pun maybe there. Yeah.
Brahman is there in the sinner also. That is
Adalla, put that aside, please. Put Brahman aside for a while. Such a pertinent question is asking, and you are talking of Brahman Atman here. What is going on?
Prior to that, you asked why the negative has come here.
Even that put aside. More important question is there to be answered. Life is a gamble played. Please explain. Correct, Sudhakarji? I'm with you, sir.
Yes, Guruji.
Brahman Atman can wait for next 3 weeks until the next class, but this can't wait. We need to clarify this. I know. Most curious to know the answer is Sanjay. Eagerly waiting. I want to know the answer. Sanjay?
Yes, I'm awaiting the answer.
Will you please throw some light on it? Is
this
it true that there's an English saying?
Yeah, I've not heard it, maybe, but I can believe that it's a saying. Sounds like something someone would write.
Yeah.
But life is a gamble, play it. Yes, it is a gamble, but you have to make the right choice. If you play it the wrong way, then one path leads to destruction. If you play it the right way, then leads to bliss. So you have to play it with wisdom. You have to play it smart, not just play it without having the right information. Which is what a gambler does, right? A gambler just they're still looking for that. They're looking for that bliss, but they're just using the wrong techniques to do it. They're just willing to bet the wrong things on it rather than in investing the time of building their wisdom, building their intellect. So they're taking that gamble, but they're taking it in the wrong way. Even building your wisdom is like a gamble. You don't know immediately. Is it going to pay off?
Just because I'm quiet, don't go about saying.
Oh, sorry, Guruji. Sorry.
Please immediately mute this fellow. What is going on? A lot of editing has to be done. Just because we are hearing you, you will say whatever you want, Sanjay.
Yes.
Please, this is not acceptable. Non-pardonable to say all that.
It's
Please
my
take
bad
back
habit.
Your words.
Yeah, it's my bad habit. If I have an audience, I'll keep talking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
You can't say wisdom is the gamble, please, for God's sake. Then you will call me the biggest gambler next. You will say, this fellow has been gambling all his life, teaching wisdom. Where will that go then? You'll disrepute me then. I can't allow you to do that, for God's sake. That's better.
Guruji.
Michapan sir, a very serious question we are discussing.
By this conversation, I am slightly confused, whether gamble has got a positive and negative connotation also.
Sir, we are trying to discuss.
I am slightly confused. That's why I'm asking you. Once I used to play the gamble. That's the reason, Now I have come out of all these things because of the spirituality, of course. Little bit of spirituality, 1%.
No, see, I think when you say life is a gamble, I don't think it is said in the same way as what a gambler does. Gambling is more in terms of You don't know what you're going to get into. It's like a game. So play it that way, but play it well, play it wisely, play it sensibly, as very rightly Sanjay said, So in that sense, perhaps in a positive sense, it's a game, play it, but play it well and understand you will lose. When you say life is a gamble, it's not necessary you come out all gains in whatever you do. You may go through terrible loss, but still you must be ready to play the game of life. So don't use yourself dejected if you lose, or if you're lost everything in life. You must have the conviction, the belief to carry on. In that spirit, perhaps it is meant. I know it's a very it's quite olden days. It was very often quoted. Nowadays you don't hear that. So I'm with Sanjay when he says it's not something I've heard it in the recent times, but maybe your times you have heard it often,
Yes.
But the answer to, is it okay? Should I continue?
Yeah. Yes.
Right, sir. So just quickly to answer Ushama's question, why is he mentioning of a negative? Ma, you must understand, Brahman has got neither anything to do with neither positive or negative. So it is only trying to facilitate. When he chose the positive, even the most difficult thing he did in the previous mantra, he took out 7 qualities of feminine, positive qualities. I don't know how much time he must have spent on that section of the verse, I don't know. I'm again getting into difficult, troubling waters, sir. I must be careful, I must come out of it. Bad quality I've got. So when he talks of it, it's only trying to tell God has got nothing to do with good or bad. God is neutral, neither virtuous nor vicious. Punya, apunya, vivarchita pantaha. God has got nothing to do with the punya or papa. It is neutral. So you can't relate anything specific to positive or negative. But by saying that he is speaking the truth, is God not there in everything? God is there in the best and the worst, isn't it? He's all pervading. So perhaps just to convey that, not get carried away with only that God has got only to do with the good. See, the same electricity which supplies a factory for the huge machineries to work, the same electricity short circuit, the whole factory got guttered. Has anything electricity got to do with all the production and the construction, or has electricity got to do with the whole factory being guttered? You can't say electricity is destructive, nor can you say electricity is constructive. Since we understand that electricity has got neither anything to do with constructive or destructive, Brahman has got nothing to do with virtuous or vicious. But it is only trying to tell it is a neutral element in everything that happens. That's perhaps the only way you can look at it. And it is the common fact in everything. But God has got nothing to do with it. That we know. Right? All right, so we shall leave at this, and as I've said, we will be back again. The next class will be on the 9th of October, as I'm away for the lecture tour to Malaysia. So till I see you all again, happy reflection, and we'll see you all soon. Okay, thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.